PieceOfJay VA.
Welcome back to the Metal Collection reviews, everybody. I hope you're all doing good. I hope you're all finally finding these guys for yourself. As I've been seeing, they've been popping up a lot more around the world, so get in on the fun, you know? Go out toy hunting. Maybe you'll find one of these, and maybe you'll find a push-along salty, who knows? Today we're going to be looking at the final character in this first wave, which is a huge shame, but we've had a really good ride. And I say character and not engine because there is still the Storybook Thomas to find and review. I do really want him though. His packaging is incredible. Only thing is, because I'm collecting this range out of and in the box, I'm gonna have to find two of them, which is gonna be a very difficult task because apparently he's one in every 10 cases. Fun. If any of you beautiful, drop-dead gorgeous people out there can help me find one of the Storybook Thomases, I will make it very worth your while. By that, I'll pay for the item, pay for the shipping, and give you a shout-out. I don't fucking know. Hey, you can think I'm lazy all you want. I like to call it a community effort. But anyways, enough yapping. Let's get into the character we're going to be reviewing today. The final engine in the first wave, Henry the Green Engine. Let's get into it. Henry! Why are you always the one causing problems? Yet again, throughout history, Henry has proven to be of the troublesome sort, because he's not coming out in the UK. Well, allegedly, according to Tootally Thomas on Twitter, Mattel's UK distributors have cancelled the release of Henry over here. At least for the time being, I think. Like, I only think he's gonna be cancelled for the 80th anniversary releases with that fucking pin thing there. Yeah, I feel like he'll get a normal release eventually, but it's a shame, like, because we could have got one of the free railway engines for each range, you know, if Wooden Railway didn't die. You know, we got Henry in this range, we got Motorized Gordon. We could have had, like, the perfect fucking trio going on, but we don't. So I had to import my Henry from China using AliExpress, which honestly wasn't that much compared to, like, buying Henry normally. I think it was, like, £24 to ship 2 Henrys over here. I see that as an absolute win. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to the GOAT Portable Thomas who let me know about the AliExpress link that people started getting Henry from. Like, it blew my mind. I thought it was going to be a scam, but no, it was, like, perfectly sound. It worked fine. I've heard this is how a lot of people in America got Duck, because he didn't come out as much over there as he did over here in the UK, where we got him in Smith's and you could order him from The Entertainer. Anyways, go and subscribe to his channel, because he also does Thomas Diecast content, and that's lit. We love that. We love the little diecast family we got going on here. So go and subscribe to him, send my love, because he came in clutch here. I fucking love you, man. And he likes Simpsons, so he's goated for that. We chat about Simpsons sometimes, it's lit. While being regional, Henry's packaging is still pretty standard. You got the Fisher-Price and Thomas & Friends logo there. You got Henry's name in Chinese next to in English. You've got the 80th anniversary pin. You've got the beautiful CGI render of Henry they've been using since, let me say it, 2009. You've got, I'm assuming, Metal Collection written in Chinese. And you've got Metal Collection written in English. And then you've got Henry himself, obviously.
I'm Henry.
On the back of the box, holy shit, we actually have something. More friends, more fun. That's what I'm fucking saying, dude. This is why we need things on the back of the packaging, because you can see the other ones that you can buy. Like, what if you go into the shop and the only one there is Henry?
I'm Henry.
You're like, oh, this is a cool toy. I wonder what other ones there are. And you look on the back and it's just fucking legal mumbo jumbo. I don't want to see that shit. I want to see the other characters in the range. Like, I didn't know they were making James. That's fucking crazy. The back of the packaging is still full of legal crap, but like, that little extra, like the little collectible thing, it's just, I don't know, it just makes toy packaging better to show the rest of the wave on the back of it, because, you know, ultimately, people collect. You know, people like to have the full collection, you know, and it's important to tell people, hey, we got more characters coming out. Or if you're in the UK, we got James. Not Henry, though. Fuck you. I was talking about this with someone the other day, but, they've kept this little 2D Thomas and the Britt Allcroft logo on the packaging, like, forever. I don't know when they started it, just... I don't know. It's nice to see her name on something that makes me feel the way Thomas made me feel when I was a kid, you know what I mean? Aww. So yeah, enough yapping on. Let's get Henry open. Oh, he's weighty. Holy shit. He's a bit heavy, you know, bro. He's a bit of a chunker. He's a bit of a chunky boy.
Hello.
Oh man, I love this tender. I really... Oh.
White Boy Summer.
Your quality control is fucking shit, man. Probably like scrape it off with a screwdriver or some shit. But what the hell? Why did it... Fuck. That wasn't a Thomas, by the way, guys. It was something else. But like, look at the free. It looks like when you get like a damaged engine in a lot and you take your paint pens or whatever and you try and fix all the scuffs and shit. Like, what? Who customized my Henry, bro? Did I order someone's custom? Here is Henry himself.
Hello.
With his fucking yellow scuff on the tender. God, that sucks. I'm really liking the look of this guy, though. Like, he looks really, really, really good. And it's kind of expected, low-key, because I've always loved Henry's toys. You know, like, if you watch the Take-Along ranking, Henry was #1, which, yeah, it's Take-Along Henry. He's goated. He looks like a Black 5. That's peak. Even in the eras where the toys were really shit, you know, Henry was one of the good ones, you know, like... When they changed from the square magnets to the fat magnets, they gave Henry a really, really big face. They didn't do that with Gordon, but they made his face a more accurate size, and I appreciate it, you know? It's a very compact, you know, kind of squat-looking Henry, but he's really buff. And this guy kind of has, like, the same thing going on where he's a little bit small, especially compared to what we're going to compare him to later on. But he looks really great. I'm really happy with this Henry. His face is a little bit of a switch up from the standard CGI face. You know, he's got different eyebrows now. They look very reminiscent of his faces in the Hit era where he had those like proper Greg Martin Sonic the Hedgehog looking eyebrows. And I don't know, I like them. They hammer in a lot more that Henry is the tough guy. You know, he's the strong one. You know, give him big burly eyebrows. And, you know, you kind of give that off. Strangely enough, though, I just noticed Henry's crow's feet are molded into him rather than... If I just get James up real quick.
Hello.
They're not painted on like James's are, which is... I don't know, I would prefer if they were painted on. Not even just for consistency's sake, you know, I love the blend of 2D and 3D with these guys. You know, I feel like they're going to be having a lot of fun with that. And with Diesel coming up, I really hope they experiment with some, like, half-closed eyes kind of thing and give him, like, just use the standard faces to do different expressions with. You know, you've been doing it with Thomas. You've done 3 of them already. Like, I want to see the Super Rescue face on Henry, you know, that kind of shit. Oh, my God! That's what he kind of looks like! Like, I don't know if it's just me, but if you look at him from this angle and then you put the illustration over it, it's like... I kind of see it. I don't know. They've got the eyebrows there for it. I feel like they were referencing Super Rescue when they were making this face. That's really cool. As for Henry himself... Yeah, looking at him next to the other guys, he is very... very small. He's very shrunken down, but I don't mind it. You know, it's not the worst take on Henry we've seen. Like, God, I can't even think of a bad Henry toy. That's saying something about Henry. He's always had really, really good toys. But it's like the first thing I'm noticing, you know, like he's missing one of his wheel arches, which I don't know why he's missing that, because it's right up against his cab on the take-along, so, you know, you could have done that here. You could have just, like, slid everything back. It's like the way I see take-along Henry, or how Henry should look, is they just took that chunk of boiler that's behind the cut-off wheel arch and just pushed everything back. There's an edit that Edward Kingo 2 did, where he did it with the side ortho from Season 3, and it looks really, really good. It's basically what I imagine they did with Take-Along Henry to make him look the way he does, and I don't know why they didn't do it here. Just when you know these characters as well as I do, and there's that little bit missing on Henry, it's gonna bug the crap out of me. I do really like how he looks from the side, and even cooler, he has rivets. Now, that's a thing across all these engines, but in the CGI series, when they gave them all rivets, Henry, Edward, Toby, and a couple of others ended up being left off because, well, they weren't fucking using them, so why bother upgrading them? But when you see, like, in the Royal Engine, like, that scene where Henry references the episode that was never even made, you know, seeing rivetless Henry next to all shiny, riveted up, accurate headcode Gordon, it's weird, and I'm glad they've gone back and given that treatment to characters who didn't get it, because I'm very curious as to what characters like Duck and Toby and other steam engine characters are going to look like with these rivets. Like, are they going to do anything to Hero? Are they going to give Hero rivets? That would be kind of fucking sweet. It's just little attempts to make them feel more realistic, you know, and I'm really appreciative of that, because kids like realism, kids like to replicate the real world when they're playing with their toys. You know, you don't really see kids doing like fucking loopy loops and shit with their trains. You know, if they're setting up a Thomas track, they're just gonna get like an oval of track, run some trains, maybe make a double track, run 2 trains. Bro, if you get 3 tracks and run 3 trains, you better chill the fuck out, yeah? He's got all his standard Henry details there. You've got his bell pepper firebox, you've got his dome, you've got his top feed, his handrail going right across to the smoke box. Oh, that's cool. I love that. And it's molded into him, which is even better. I much prefer that, actually. You've got his cab with the square window, you've got his wheel arches, -1. You've got his boiler supports that are fed through the smoke box, which is really, really cool. And that goes through to the pistons, so they're all one piece.
Say that again?
Which is great. Oh my god, the one piece is real.
The One Piece is real!
They're all really great, because a lot of Henry toys previously didn't have those painted, so it's nice to finally see that, you know, because I've had to do it myself, and it's a fucking nightmare trying to color match. You can notice as well that, like, the boiler is a lot shinier from, like, the cab and the boiler supports and the wheel arches. Yeah, that's the only metal part of him. They've really cut back the metal they use in these guys, which is a shame. But at the same time, that sacrifice comes with more detail, because I can imagine it's a lot easier to work with plastic than it is die-cast metal to make super detailed parts. Because if it was easy to do metal, I can imagine the whole thing would be made of it. But still, they chose the best part of him to make metal. Like, that boiler, that's perfect weight distribution across this whole thing, man. He's got a good bit of gusto to him, to be fair. And that's comparing him to other Thailand-produced Thomas toys, which are very, very, very light. He doesn't have any cab details, which is a shame, but I'm not really expecting any, because they haven't done it on James, and I can't imagine that's something they're really going to go back to, which, it sucks, but it doesn't really have a purpose if they don't have any little people to go with it. It's just like a cool little thing they used to do that they could so easily do. On his front as well, he has the little, like, archy things going down his running board. Those are pushed through from the black chassis piece, which is, like, right underneath him. That's really cool. I don't know, I think that's a really clever way of doing it. It's like how the Nakayoshi Thomas goes together, because those parts go through the running board as well. It's cool. See, the thing with these is there's a lot of things that other Thomas toy ranges have done. I was talking about it with somebody I met in work yesterday, where these guys feel like a bit of everything. You know, they feel like Take Along, they feel like Ertl, they feel like Push Along, they feel like Adventures. They've got little bits of all the previous Thomas Toy ranges just put into one, and I think that's really cool. You guys know the side rods are a detail that I don't really care for, just because they're not worked in as well on these as they could have been, but it's just down to how these are built, which is fair enough, and they're gauge, so if they were to make these work, they'd have to make the body like 1.5 times bigger kind of things, but you know, they look fine. It doesn't, it actually kind of does stick out a little bit. It's not as heavy on the Cars 2 gun effect as someone like Percy is. He's locked and loaded. But it looks fine. And the best thing about Henry, he has screws! Sick! We're 2 for 2 on guys with screws. Bro, let's go and get the screwdriver and get those side rods off. Alright, Henry. You ready to meet your maker? Die, Henry, you commie fuck. Actually, you know what? We're gonna do this shit live. We're gonna be like the guy from Toy Story 2 who fixes Woody. Proper ASMR, this kind of shit.
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Okay, yeah, I can't do this on camera. Give me a minute. See, it doesn't look as different as it did with James, but it just looks a lot better, honestly. Like, I don't care for static side rods, man. If they're not gonna move, then what's the point? Still a cool detail, though. Like, I do appreciate, like, the thought behind it, you know? Just let them have that. They're trying. Henry's tender is honestly the most exciting part of this for me, because this is the first time since probably, like, Ertl, I want to say, where we've had a tender that doesn't have that really ugly red buffer beam piece underneath it. It's just Henry's toaster tender, and it looks really, really nice. Admittedly, it does look a little strange, just because it's different. Like, the only reason it looked kind of weird to me is because of how different it is. I've been dealing with this since I was, like, 1 or 2 years old, so you can imagine why this is a little bit weird for me. It still looks really, really good, though, with that line of rivets and the generator piece on the back for some fucking reason. I don't know why Henry ever had that. His buffers and buffer beam on the back aren't painted, which I kind of expected, really. This thing is literally just a piece of plastic. The only metal in it is this part under here, which is a trend they started with the All Engines Go ones, which, fair enough, you know, the weight is where it needs to be, just cutting corners, innit? This is my favourite part of this new Henry, though, like, this tender, and I'm hoping tenders for the foreseeable will look like this. Like, just imagine how Gordon's gonna look. Oh my god, Henry gets me so excited just because he is what Gordon's gonna look like, and Gordon is gonna look so fucking sweet, man. And when it's attached to Henry, when it's attached to Henry, it looks even better, man. Oh my god. Oh, it just looks so cool seeing a completely different take on how they do tenders. It's wild to me. It's so wild to me seeing this change, and I'm so glad it's finally happening, because we wanted this forever. If you were a kid like me and used to try and paint the red part underneath them, when that moment you noticed that they never had that in the show, and it just completely ruined it for you. I'm pretty sure it was actually TrainBrain06 that pointed that out to me when we were chatting one day on Instagram, that the engines aren't meant to, the tenders aren't meant to have that red buffer beam piece underneath it. It ruined my life. I've not been the same since. Now we're going to get on to some side comparisons with some other characters in the range, and this is where Henry's flaw is going to kind of settle in, because here he is next to James.
James!
Why is James so fucking big? Or better yet, why is Henry so small? I don't know who's wrong here. So you can see there, they're right next to each other, like, as close as I can get it with just the naked eye. Why is James longer? Why is a smaller engine in the show bigger than an engine that's bigger than him? I'm not doing this Ertl shit again, man. I can't do that again. Don't do this to me. He just looks so much smaller all around, and it's kind of... It really bugs me when you see him next to James, because we all know Henry's a bigger engine than James, you know? But they're confided to this 260 maximum wheel configuration, why not do what you did with James and just make Henry's body bigger? You know, James doesn't fit perfectly on the chassis. Like, you'll notice at the front here, there is a lot of dead space in front of James's front pony truck. But then with Henry, it's like squished right up. Why don't you do this to Henry? No, just to make him a little bit bigger. I don't know, it bugs me. Oh, it really, really bugs me. Now, you look at their fireboxes and they're pretty much lined up. It's just James's cab that makes him look a lot taller, but he's still a lot longer, and that's kind of annoying to me. Like, no, Henry's bigger than James. You can't twist that shit around. Something I just noticed, actually, Henry's handrails are molded onto him and then painted on the metal part, but then left black on the smoke box. That's something you can easily fix with a silver Sharpie. But then James's are painted right on. They're not molded. What's going on here? Stop with the inconsistencies, man. I'm going crazy. Like, I'll give them credit, you know, at least they're CGI accurate. Next, we're going to bring out the two amigos, and I haven't actually done this one yet, so this is going to be like... Same with James, actually. I didn't put the Henry next to him yet. But here is Percy. And Thomas.
Hello.
Next to Henry. Yeah, that actually looks pretty alright. He's a little bit bigger. It's that chunky plastic roof that definitely helps him look a lot bigger. You know, that's nice. You know, I do like that.
I tell you what though, folks, that's bloody nice.
It's a good size, basically. You know, he looks fine next to Thomas and Percy. I feel like that last comparison was just James being fucking massive. Here is Henry next to his All Engines Go counterpart, and this... Oh, this is the comparison, because this guy was basically built off what they learned from making this guy. So, well, they didn't really make him, they just retooled Gordon. But still, like, they share a lot of aspects between the two of them, like the plastic cab and the plastic wheel arches, the separately fitted roof, the boiler supports and the piston being a part that sandwiches between the running board and the smoke box. They definitely learned how to make a Henry by making this guy right here, which is good, because I do really like the All Engines Go Henry. I did do the forbidden thing, however, and gave him a white running board, just because I was curious as to how well I could paint it the way it is in the show, because in the show, for those who haven't seen it, the white running board on Gordon just ends at the end of the dip. You know, when it goes up, it just ends right there at his boiler supports. But it's the same on Henry, because for Henry's rig in the show, they just retooled Gordon, and I don't know what the fuck they did with Edward. But that's just a neat little thing I did. I did it on Gordon as well. I think it's in one of the collection videos. I don't know, but yeah, J-Law. Here is Henry next to a 2013 Take and Play Henry. Wow. Oh my god. Okay, the new Henry is pretty big compared to him. Jesus Christ. This was the only time, I'm pretty sure, that the Thailand-produced Henrys had this smaller face, which was on the Take-Along and the Ertl one. They made his face a lot bigger in the 2014 range. I don't have that Henry, but I'll put a picture up now. Like, his face got fatter, basically. It's cool. Something I just noticed as well, it's a detail I completely forget about, but this guy has lamp irons. Just tiny little nubs of lamp iron right there, and it's a really cool detail. You know, they did it on a couple of other ones. They did it on Edward, Gordon, and James as well. Edward, James, and Gordon on the way. They didn't put it on the new one, which is a shame, but I'm kind of fine with it, because the compromise is characters can now have molded lamps, so I don't know, I see that as a bit of a W. It's just so wild to me seeing how different these guys are. Like, he has molded lining, and he's got like textured nails or whatever on the handrail, but then this one is just like completely buttery smooth. Same with the boiler bands. His dome is a lot further, no, it's not his dome, his top feed is a lot further forward than on this guy. There's like a little extra layer of boiler for the top feed to like split them up, but on this one there isn't. The firebox is a lot bigger on this one compared to this. What the fuck are you doing, Frankie? Sorry about that. Frankie was committing arson, but yeah, TLDR, these Henrys are very, very different. There's similarities, but there's still, like, he is an evolved version of him. While we're doing take and play stuff, here is Henry next to a take and play Thomas, and oh man, that looks really, really good. Somebody on Twitter, I think their name was like Donnie9Stud or something. I'll put up their profile here. This is a free shout out for making something cool. And they took the body and the tender of the new Henry and whacked it onto a take-along chassis, and good God, holy shit, this is the perfect Henry, dude. Absolutely flawless. This is, if they made a Henry like that and released it, it would be perfect. It would, that is an absolutely perfect Henry, the green engine, man. Oh my God, I cannot wait to do it to my own. Like, see, that's the thing though. If I do it to my own, I'll want to use it, and I can't because all the Henry faces that I've spent all this money on only fit on the old one, not this giant fucking Majora's Mask looking moon face. Get the fuck away from me. I'm very happy to say though that the Take and Play Thomas scales very, very well with this new Henry. Like, it's definitely just that cab roof making him look a lot taller. Not to his firebox is like right up to where Thomas's roof is. That's kind of crazy. You know, they've cooked with the size of Henry. You know, I feel like Henry is a much better size than James is. James, being as big as he is very cool, but not every engine is going to accommodate to that. And it's got me kind of worried for how characters built like James are going to look, like Edward. Is Edward going to be as huge as James is? Or is he going to be, like, completely redone like Henry and presumably Gordon will? I don't know, man. It's weird, but again, CGI accurate, so it's fine. Next up is one where I was like, do I want to do this? Do I want to reveal it through this video? And it's a video about Henry, so I may as well reveal it. Here is Henry next to my custom old shape Henry, and yeah, just take it all in, guys. It's a bit of an unfair comparison to make because one is custom, one isn't. But I just wanted to show off my old shape Henry because I'm really happy how he came out. If you guys want to see like a whole dedicated video or series to customs, then you know what to do. Just let me know down below, and I could probably make that happen. Just give me like 2 to 5 business days.
That's a lie.
It is a lie, and I take full responsibility for it.
So overall, I think Henry is a better example of how the bigger engines in this range are going to look compared to someone like James. That's not me saying Henry is better than James. Honestly, I still think James is my favorite out of the range, but given how much of Henry, every part of Henry is like a new piece, this is a better example of what future characters are going to look like I just said. Because I'm looking at Henry right now and I'm seeing exactly how they're going to make Gordon. And if they do that, we're in for a real treat. Gordon could be very, very, very good. So, in conclusion, I think Henry is a better example for how the rest of the big engines in this range are going to look. That doesn't mean I prefer him to James. I still think James is my absolute favorite in the line, but Henry's really good too. I have my little nitpicks, like I wish he was bigger, I wish he had that wheel arch, I wish he had the longer chassis that James does. I just wish that he was the bigger one instead of James. You know, I wish they made Henry as massive as James is.
Alright, I get it!
But on his own, and especially compared with Thomas and Percy, Henry is a very, very, very solid release, and I'm glad that he was in the first wave. It's just nice to see Henry getting this kind of love, given that for the final years of the show, he was completely pushed aside, and that still hurts, man. Like, how can you do that to Henry? He's the one who died in the tunnel. I don't get why they did what they did with Henry, though, because I would argue that Henry is a lot more popular than Gordon. That's my hot take of the week. If you're going down popularity, you've got Thomas and Percy. And then after that, it's a bit unclear. Obviously, everyone knows the Fat Controller, but out of the trains, I feel like the next one they name more often is Henry. Again, that's probably me being biased because besides Toby, Henry is my favorite in the Steam team. I love Henry. I've loved Henry since I was a kid, man. I love Henry's Forest. I love the whole, like, rebuild story with him. You know, he's a very inspirational character, you know, especially for a lot of people out there and kids who have probably had health issues and thought, yeah, this is it. I give up now. But Henry teaches us, don't give up, man. Just keep powering through, and eventually you're going to get what you need to be better. And Henry did. If only I could say the same for Edward, and especially Toby. Like, I'm bringing it back from the Diesel video. How do you fuck up Toby? I'll provide links down below so you can get your own Henry. You're gonna have to order from AliExpress, I'm afraid, or get the big 5-pack of Amazon, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna spend 40 quid to get one train. That's ridiculous. If you don't want those ones, AliExpress link is down below. For the love of God, don't buy them all out and be a greedy little bastard and scalp them on eBay, because I will find you and I will give you a very horrible haircut. Maybe your teeth cut as well. But thank you guys for watching. Yet again, you've been a great audience. And I'll see you when I eventually get Storybook Thomas. Peace!